In this video, I'm going to show you how to write a paragraph. There are many ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you a few ways. You can watch this video as many times as you like, and you can stop it and rewind it too. So, writing a paragraph is like telling a story. So maybe you recognize this story fish from your Norwegian classes. So a story usually has an introduction, and then it has the main content. Maybe it goes a little bit in different directions, but generally it goes all the way to the tail, which is the conclusion or the ending, depending on what you're writing. So a paragraph is kind of the same thing. You have a topic sentence, which is the introduction of the paragraph, and then you have the middle of the paragraph, which is the supporting sentences, so the main content, and then at the end you have a concluding or a linking sentence. So this is what I'm going to go through in this video. Here's another metaphor, which I quite like. It's a burger, and the burger has a bun on the top and the bottom, and this is what holds the paragraph together, right? It holds the burger together. Then in the middle you have the cheese, you have the burger, the lettuce, whatever you like, which is the hot and the juicy bit of the burger, and also then the paragraph. So let's start with the topic sentence. So as I said, the topic sentence is the first sentence in the paragraph, and it kind of really says itself, right? So the first sentence in the paragraph is what introduces the topic, right? The topic sentence. It should show the main message of the paragraph in a very short and precise way. It can contain an argument, or at least shows the direction or where you're going with the paragraph. So let's look at some examples. Indigenous peoples across the world have been denied the right to their own land and cultural expression. So here I introduce the topic of indigenous peoples. This is what I'm going to be writing about in my paragraph. And I'm also giving a direction within the topic of indigenous peoples. So I'm talking about rights here, and specifically the rights to own land and cultural expression. So I'm pretty sure if I read this topic sentence that the paragraph is going to be about indigenous peoples' right to land and cultural expression. Here's another one. Native Americans face many social issues today, such as unemployment, alcohol misuse, and health issues. So here again, social issues in Native Americans communities, and specifically unemployment, alcohol misuse, and health issues. So I would expect to see something about unemployment, alcohol, and health issues in the paragraph. And it's the same here. The Aboriginals are known for their rich culture, especially their art. So it's usual to kind of really specify within the topic in the topic sentence. Right, so the main content, and that is what we can call supporting statements or sentences. So this is the heart of the burger metaphor. Paragraphs should have at least 2 to 3 supporting sentences. This is still a short paragraph, so you might want to have more, but at least 2 to 3 that kind of gives you information about the topic. So the point of these sentences is, it depends on what you're writing, but usually it's to convince. If you're writing an argumentative text, it's to convince them of the argument that you might have presented in the topic sentence, or to describe to the reader what you've said in the topic sentence. So if you're talking about the plot of a film, You introduce the film in the topic sentence, and then you go on to describe what it's actually about. So supporting sentences can contain examples, some facts and details, your own view, other people's views, and personal experiences. So really, again, it depends on what you're writing, right? So yeah, just to give you some ideas of where to go in your paragraph. Let's move on. Here we have this topic sentence. Indigenous peoples across the world have been denied the right to their own land and cultural expression. And then we'll add a supporting sentence. So, land is often tied up to religious and traditional practices because of the relationship between nature and indigenous culture. So here I add some vital information explaining why land is important and also how it relates to culture, right? These are things that I'm saying, I'm mentioning in the topic sentence, and so it's quite natural to go on from there quite directly. Here, in North America, only 2% of land is owned by Native Americans. So here I'm coming up with a fact, useful. It's also kind of an example. Because we're generally talking about indigenous peoples here, and here I provide an example of a specific group of indigenous peoples, which are Native Americans. Without access to land, many indigenous peoples were forced to integrate into white society. So, a consequence of this, for example. Again, just elaborating on your topic. So, then we know how to write a topic sentence and supporting statements. So in the next video, I'm going to go through how to finish your